So, hot off the press, let's go ahead and give you guys an update on the BOI filing. I'm a little bit late. Honestly, it's not that hot, but a little lukewarm. Anyway, on March 5th, actually March 2nd, reading this straight off the United States Department of Treasury, the U.S. Department of Treasury announced a suspension of the enforcement of the Corporate Transparency Act against U.S. citizens and domestic reporting companies. Did you hear that? On March 2nd, the Treasury Department announced today that with respect to the Corporate Transparency Act, not only will it not enforce any penalties or fines associated with the beneficial ownership information reporting rule under the existing regulatory deadlines, but it will further not enforce any penalties, fines against U.S. citizens or domestic reporting companies or their beneficial owners after forthcoming rule changes take effect either. The Treasury Department will further be issuing a proposed rulemaking that will narrow the scope of the rule to foreign reporting companies only. Okay, that's what we want to hear. Okay, Papa Trump finally came through. Treasury takes this step in interest in supporting hardworking American taxpaying small businesses, ensuring that the rule is appropriately tailored to advance the public interest. This is a victory for common sense, said U.S. Secretary of Treasury Scott Bessent, however you say that. Today's action is part of President Trump's bold agenda to unleash American prosperity by reining the burdensome regulations, in particular for small businesses that are the backbone of the U.S. economy. Honestly, this is great news, okay? You guys know I've been asking for Donald Trump to come ahead and pitch in on this, and I was a little bit scared. Honestly, I was at the point I was scared. Papa Trump, somebody, Elon Musk, somebody come help us, please. Help us, please, us small business owners. If you don't know what we're talking about BOI. It was beneficial owners information. This was something that was passed during the Biden era, back when Sleepy Joe was there. And it basically required all small business owners, all LLC, any corporations in the United States of America to make this filing. And anybody that was an owner or had any ownership interest in any corporation. And if you didn't do it, there's gonna be fines that could be imposed. Even, I believe, you could exceed up to prison time. The fines were ridiculous, up to like $10,000 a day or something crazy like that. So this was a big deal, And if you go back to my last video when I would discuss this, there's been a lot of flip-flopping. There was some back and forth, even as recent as 2 weeks ago.
So you say you saw a what?
It was a wolf, goddammit, big black stinking ass wolf. The motherfucker jumped off the boat and ran over there. And when it got there, son of a bitch turned into a man. Did the flip-flop shit on me. Just like a hoe I knew in Detroit back in 62, 63. I go over a house on Saturday night, bitch love me, man. Take a chicken and some pretzels. I come to the door, she's a man. Flip-flopping this shit. You ever seen a motherfucker flip-flop on you and shit like this in your face? Go crazy, be flipping and shit.
So, it was the final ruling, what is it? There was that Texas cop shop rule, and then there was another lawsuit that was going on, and there was an injunction that was put in place, and then that injunction was reversed, saying that we had to file, and then, there was a new deadline that was set forth, which was like March 2nd. Okay, hold on here. No, there was a deadline for March 21st. This was as of 2 weeks ago. I was like, oh my gosh, we're going to have to file this thing. And I was just sitting back like, man, Trump, do something. Come on, man. Do something. Elon, Dodge, somebody do something. I don't want to be filing this thing. This thing is a little bit ridiculous. But I basically gave up, honestly. I was at the point where I was about to file, like many others. It was even updated on the BOI site that you were required to file. The only thing that they did was extend the deadline, given all that back and forth confusion with you have to file, you don't have to file, you have to file, now you really have to file. And then now officially the Trump administration and the U.S. Department of Treasury, who's in charge of enforcing this thing, has stated on this press release that you no longer have to file. And what they're doing, as I said on here, is limiting the scope. And we're going to get to that here in just a moment. I love the way they've put this, because at the end of the day, you have to take into account that this is a valid law. This was passed by Congress, passed by the Senate, and it was signed into law by Sleepy Joe. So this is a law. But one thing that most people don't really understand is you can pass however many laws as you want to, but how you enforce them is what really matters. So, we're we're in a very weird situation if you really think about this. There is a valid law in place. It's the law of the land that there has to be this beneficial owner reporting thing. But there's 2 cases that are still ongoing right now. The Supreme Court right now, as we speak, has said that the law is constitutional and has to go on. But the people that are supposed to be enforcing the law have decided, since there's a new administration in place, that they're not going to be continuing the enforcement of this law. But the law is in place. Okay, so it's kind of weird because if you really think about it, as it pertains to these particular cases, actually, who's arguing for the other side? You know, let's just say this Texas cop shop situation. Well, of course, you have the Texas cop shop that they have their own attorney, but the other party was supposed to be the federal government arguing in front of the judge as it pertains to this new law. But if the federal government has changed their flavored, sentiment as it pertains to how they want to enforce this law, why even let the case go on? It's just kind of weird. So anyway, just kind of, I want you to kind of understand that weird dynamic there. So it's a legal law. It's real. There was a deadline. Trump administration are required by law through the Department of Treasury to enforce this law, but that's the word when they're talking about here that they're going to change the rule. And I actually do agree with this changing of the rule, because if you think about it, the law was a little bit overreaching, in my opinion. And what they've decided to do is, instead of targeting Americans, they've stated on here, Treasury Department announces special enforcement of the Corporate Transparency Act to U.S. citizens and domestic reporting companies. So they're basically changing it where they're going to be enforcing it to foreign companies, companies that are not domestic, they're not owned by anybody that's domestic. And the language here, when you say citizens, make you think that it's only, corporations that are owned by citizens, but that's false. It's even permanent residents that owns any U.S. corporations. That's where the language domestic reporting companies. So if you're a permanent resident and you have an entity in the U.S., you are also not required to report. A moment of celebration there. First off, yay, okay, Papa Trump finally came through, because I was a little bit scared. I was going to lie, especially 2 weeks ago when, his administration basically put on there that, hey, we're going to go ahead and proceed with this. But Trump made a tweet I think it was last week, stating President Trump has celebrated here. Let me see here. President Trump has celebrated the Treasury Department's announcement that it will not enforce fines under the Corporate Transparency Act and the anti-money laundering law that aims to increase transparency around the ownership of certain business entities. And this was really weird the way this law was written. Basically, any entity that made more than $5 million a year, they were not required to file, which is really stupid. So if you make a lot of money, which, drug cartels and a lot of these, bad actors, if you want to call it, they do make a lot of money. So, if you make a lot of money, then you don't have to follow this law. But if you don't make that enough money, then you do have to follow this law. It was just kind of a bit weird the way that, this was structured. Treasury Department Scott Bennett described the decision as victory of common sense. Of course, we already read that. But anyway, I'm a little bit behind. It's still a little bit warm, though, because this was just last week. But I wanted to go ahead and say it here. Maybe not first, okay, but definitely not last. That the Corporate Transparency Act is no longer... Damn, this is weird. I can't say that it's no longer a valid law, because that's false. But it's not going to be enforced. You don't have to file. You can file willingly if you want to, but nothing will happen to you if you don't file, even though it's a valid law. Oh my gosh, what world are we living in today? Anyway, we're done today. We're going to move on to the next one. Peace out. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. If you're ever interested in working with us, there's going to be links in the description how we can work together. Panther Consulting Group. What our goal, we always say our goal is to help you reach your goals. So if you're looking for funding, you can meet us there. Also, if you're looking for training, if you're a business loan broker or want to be a business loan broker and tired of being a glorified referral partner, link in the description. Appreciate it. Thank you so much, and you have a blessed rest of your day. Anyway, if you stay with me through the end, You know, I appreciate you, I really do. Please go ahead and give me a like to the video, subscribe to the channel, and I guess I should go ahead and pay some bills. Let you know what this video is brought to you by our sponsor, Broker Solutions Academy. There's going to be a link in the description. We work with people that are interested in becoming a business loan broker. We have a very comprehensive business loan broker course, and we're going to be teaching you everything you need to know about how to become a business loan broker. Our mission statement is we help business loan brokers understand and simplify the various funding solutions that are available in the marketplace so you can properly serve your clients, stop the endless confusion and self-defeating pointless rat race they're currently in, and grow their business while maximizing profits by teaching them how to become a real business loan broker, not just a referral partner. This video is also brought to you by Pennington Consulting Group, and that's where we work directly with entrepreneurs and also business owners to help them get funded. So if you're looking to start, grow, or even expand your current business, Pennington Consulting Group, there's going to be a link in the description where you can go ahead and schedule a time. And like we always say at Pennington Consulting Group, our goal is to help you reach your goal. Again, thank you for joining me today, and I'll see you in the next video.